Welcome back, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today in my sunny living room because lots of people are mowing their lawns in the next to the room that I usually film videos in. So it's a nice change of scenery, I think. I hope that you are all doing very well today, and if you're not, I'm so glad that you're here with me. We can try to turn things around for you. I am going to start today with something called the 3-minute breathing space, and then we're going to go on to just a very short lesson group about control. That's what we're going to talk about today. So getting started with the 3-minute breathing space, this is a great exercise because it is literally 3 minutes long. So you have 3 minutes in your day to work on it, but also it's a little more structured than some other breathing exercises. I'm going to be reading a text while we go through it. So just like all of our other breathing exercises, if you can get to a place where you can sit, that would be great. Preferably with your back straight and your legs uncrossed, just to make sure all of our good circulation is going. And we're going to get started with the 3-minute breathing space. So if we just want to start with one deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Step 1 of the 3-minute breathing space is becoming aware. Bring yourself into the present moment by deliberately adopting an erect and dignified posture. If possible, close your eyes. Bringing your awareness to your inner experience, ask, what is my experience right now inside this body? What thoughts are going through the mind? What feelings are here? What bodily sensations are present? Acknowledge and register your experiences, even if they may be unwanted. Step 2 is gathering. Redirect gently your full attention to your breath, to each in-breath and to each out-breath as they follow one after the other. Your breath can function as an anchor to bring you into the present and help you tune into a state of awareness and stillness. Step 3 is expanding. Expand the field of your awareness around your breathing so that it includes a sense of the body as a whole, your posture, your facial expression. This breathing space provides a way to step out of autopilot and reconnect with the present moment. The key skill is using mindfulness to maintain awareness in the moment, nothing else. Becoming aware, gathering, expanding. And taking a moment to take 1 or 2 last deep breaths. And then when you're ready, coming back to your body so we can finish up the lesson for today. So that is the 3-minute breathing space. You can obviously you can listen to this video as a guide for it, but the big steps being bring yourself into your posture, go over your thoughts, your feelings, and your body sensations, just kind of in a row as they come to you. Recognize them without judgment. Acknowledge them, let them pass. Focus on your breath, the in and the out, maybe focusing a little bit of gratitude, and then letting your awareness span outside the body to what's going on around you. How hot it is in the room, what sounds you can hear, whether you have a pet that's resting close to you. And that's 3 minutes. So I hope that's one that you enjoy. I know that's one that I really enjoy because it's just easier for me to follow sometimes. So today we are going to talk about control. In interacting with clients and friends and family in the past week or so, I've heard just from a lot of people that little things that wouldn't ordinarily set them off and really bother them are really bothering them. Like I know a friend of mine was getting groceries for their mother, and they got the wrong kind of cake mix, and the mom kind of had a meltdown about the cake mix being the wrong brand. That wasn't what she asked for at the grocery store, but that's what she got. She was very upset. And, we were kind of talking about it, and it occurred to us that so much right now in the world feels so out of our control, and it is out of our control, that something so small as just getting the cake mix that she wanted, that was the only thing she could control, and you took that away from her too. So we were able to kind of talk that through and even just laugh about it a little bit. So keeping in mind, paying attention, are little things bothering you? If they are, you're probably not alone. So much of our control is out of our control right now that those little things that bother us are probably going to keep bothering us. And I think that it's important to recognize that it's really not a bad thing that little things are bothering you. You can't control what bothers you, but you can control your response to what bothers you. So I just kind of wanted to put together a little brief guide or some, tips for dealing with those triggering feelings, because I know that it's really, it makes me feel like kind of ashamed when I get irritated over something that I know doesn't matter. And I know that these are some of the things that help me and that help my patients when we're really trying to work through some of those feelings. So being mindful and also remembering that we have to notice feelings without judgment. Without the judgment is the important part there, right? So even I have to work on that too. The first thing I would say is, if it is within you, you need to recognize that you're going to need to show a little grace to yourself and to other people. Always, but especially right now. People are going to be irritable. People are going to make mistakes. Nothing really seems very convenient right now. Everything is just irritating. So having a little grace that things are going to be a little messed up. Things may not be easy or perfect. And just deciding to be okay with some of that. One of my favorite things I've stumbled upon in the past week was sometimes all you can control is how well you let go of control. Man, that rocked me. I was like, you're right. So if I really feel like I need to control something right now, I'm going to control that I'm letting go. And that made me feel like I had cheated the system. Like they thought they could fool me, but I can just control how I let go of control. So that's a little nugget that I stumbled across. The other kind of skill that I have been encouraging people to do is to really use your skills to tolerate intense feelings. So I think there are many skills of these that we go over in group. One of them is called the STOP skill. If you look that one up, STOP, it's a great ordered skill that you can use when you're activated, when you're having an intense emotion, that I'll probably do later on this week as a skill. There's another skill called HALT. Before you have an outburst or before you approach someone to talk about something that you feel is important, you HALT, you check in and make sure, are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? And you consider those things and try to tend to those needs before you have that conversation. Um, I think another great option that you have during this time is to make a list. And I know not everyone likes making lists, but in this situation, why not try it? Maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. Make a list of the things that are bothering you. Just sit yourself right down and say, all right, I'm making a list of all the things that are making me angry right now, or irritated, or sad, or whatever the feeling is. And I always like to start that process and encourage my patients to start that process with checking in with the body. So the first thing I do when I sit down to make my list is I check my body. Do I have a headache right now that I may not have noticed that I had, and that's probably making me more irritable, and that's something I should consider or tend to first before I even do the rest of this exercise. Does my stomach hurt? Did I forget to eat lunch and breakfast and dinner last night and I just didn't notice because I was in my anxiety? Are my legs really hurting? Does my body really need to move? What does it need? It will tell you what it needs, but you have to sit down for a moment and be still and listen. So start with your body and then move on to the other things. I'm frustrated because my kid has all this NTI work and I don't know how to do algebra. I haven't done this work in forever, and that's really, it's making me feel like a bad parent, and it's really, really difficult. I'm frustrated. I'm hearing this one a lot when I ask this. I'm frustrated about people that aren't quarantining. I'm really, really irritated that I can't go to the park that's closed. Why would they close a park? They closed the front drive. I can't even drive my car in there. That's not fair, right? So I'm frustrated about that. I'm irritated that I keep having to go to the grocery because my family keeps eating everything. All right, so this is our list. This is just the beginning of a list. Your list can be quite long. And then you need to look at each individual thing and identify whether that thing is within your control. So my kid having NTI work is not something I can control. Of course they have NTI. That's what the school is requiring. But the parts of that I can control are how I am responding to my kid, who's probably also just as frustrated as I am and who may not be showing it the same way. Have I reached out to all the resources that are already in place to help me? It is not on me to relearn this subject and teach it to my child. Can I reach out to the teacher? Is there a Zoom group that my child may not be attending that they could be going to ask questions instead of asking them of me? Is there a friend they can reach out to, which is perfectly acceptable for social distancing? You can put them on your phone or your computer to use Zoom as well. Do I have control over that feeling of frustration? No, but I do have control over whether I get frustrated and then I yell at my kid and then I make it worse. So what parts of this are in my control and what parts are out of this part of my control? This idea of having NTI work at all and how stupid it is, you just got to make peace with that because you can't control that. That's out of your control. There's no amount of huffing and puffing and letter writing and campaigning and whatever else your frustrated heart really wants to do at that moment. It is what it is. So we need to practice a little acceptance around that particular piece of the problem. Same with other people not quarantining. Just kind of looking yourself in the face and saying, I cannot control other people, but I can control the gratitude I have for the people that are quarantining around me. I can acknowledge that it feels very personal that those people aren't quarantining. They're putting my safety at risk, which is absolutely true. But I can control that I understand that there may be reasons why they're doing that. I don't agree with them, but they're going to do what they're going to do, and all I can do is set boundaries to keep my family safe. Any of these little problems that you're having, there are going to be pieces of them that you can control, maybe in your response, or maybe there are pieces of them you can't, by putting your kids on a snack schedule so that they're not constantly raiding your kitchen, or giving yourself a structured schedule in your day because you're just feeling overwhelmed and out of control all the time. You cannot control that feeling, but you can manipulate it. So if you have the agency and the ability, get a piece of paper, write it down. You're going to give yourself 3 hours in the morning to get these chores done. You're going to give yourself 3 hours in the afternoon to just sit outside and do absolutely nothing. You're going to, do your work that you're supposed to actually be doing for the next 3 hours. giving yourself windows that aren't so rigid that you feel like you're, under a deadline that's very stressful, but just giving yourself enough structure that you feel like you don't get up at 4 p.m. and say, oh my God, where did my day go? And then you have all kinds of other feelings. You're guilty about that, or you're frustrated, or what have you. I think the other part of just kind of dealing with these feelings of being really out of control and trying to exert control over your life in a time that is very challenging to do is really turning toward gratitude. Because when I feel very, very out of control, I know that that's a place I will often go in my mind, and I will often encourage my patients to go to in their mind. You cannot control this situation. So how about we just stop for a second? I can look at what I can control in this situation. I can accept what I can't control. And then I can turn towards some gratitude of what I do have in my life right now that is not driving me crazy or that I feel lucky to have or happy to be able to witness. I have some sunshine out today, which is just so comforting to me. I have a pet that will come and love me whenever I want them to, that never seems to get sick of me. I have a home. I have enough food today. If I need a cold drink of water, I can just go and get a cold drink of water from the fridge. My family, I know that I have friends I can reach out to. These seem very trivial. You think, of course I have those things, but that's not going to help me right now. It does, actually. Slows you down. It makes you stop. It makes you breathe. And honestly, when I take a few minutes to really reflect on that feeling of gratitude, my heart feels lighter. I feel a little less sad. I feel a little less angry, because when I'm reflecting on those things that bring me so much love and joy, I can't feel that angry. I can't feel that irritated. I can't feel that anxious. So really taking a moment to, with my whole attention, focus and lean into gratitude. It does not fix the problem. I'm not saying that it will, but it will give you that space to breathe, that space to kind of try to reset. So going over our group, our lesson today, feeling out of control is completely normal, especially now. Little things may be really bothering you that wouldn't have bothered you before. Sometimes all you can control is how well you let go of control. And that's okay. If that's the option that you lean into, go for it. Make a list of things that feel frustrating or out of control right now, and then look and see, is the locus of control within you? Can you control them? What parts of them are in your control? What parts do you need to practice some acceptance of because they're not in your control to fix? And then really leaning into gratitude. And then obviously using your coping skills. All of the breathing exercises that we do here, they're meant to be used when you're triggered and when you're feeling activated, so they're great to use when you're upset, but I'm always trying to encourage people, they're also great to use before you're upset. Making a habit of doing it in the morning so that they may calm you down before you even realize that you're becoming activated, or that something is really bothering you. So making time in your day to do that could be the difference between a day that is very challenging to you and a day that feels a little more manageable. So that's my lesson for today. I hope it brings you some comfort. And if nothing else, it makes you feel a little less alone. I'm going to close today actually with a really brief story that I really like. It's a story by Rumi. It's a very short poem, actually. It's from the Essential Rumi, R-U-M-I, and it's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Take care of yourselves. Take care of all your loved ones. Check in with them, and I will see you very soon. Thanks.